You just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning. Happy Halloween, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a little article about Japan's rate decision. It's looking like I was correct, and they're going to hold rates at 25.25%, and we will see how things play out for their next decision coming in December. So let's dive on in today and get you prepped for success. I've got the stock heat map pulled up. Oh, wrong screen. Let me get that switched. Nope. I'll go with this one with LBC on there. So I'm not switching things around. We've got Apple sitting down 1.53. We got Nvidia sitting down 1.36. We've got Berkshire Hathaway sitting up 0.07. We've got Amazon sitting up 1%. We've got P&G sitting down 0.6. We've got ExxonMobil sitting down 0.5. Got Tesla sitting down 0.76. Got Visa making a little move up 2.94. Eli Lilly is sitting down 6.28. Got Microsoft up 0.13. Meta is sitting down 0.25. And Google is doing pretty well, up 2.82. I did have a little article on AMD as well that I had looked at. It is sitting down 10.62 off of, good earnings, but not quite what everyone was expecting. So we might take a little look at that article and the chart as well. As you can kind of see here, it moved down pretty hard off of its earnings report, which 778 million, but they were forecasting 800 million. So definitely less than what they were wanting. Got Bitcoin sitting up 0.35%. You got Ethereum sitting down 0.71. You got BNB. It's sitting down 1.88. Solana is sitting up 0.67. Dogecoin is making another little move. It's up 2.7. Got XRP sitting down 0.59. Tron coin is continuing its little trend from yesterday. It is up 0.59. Toncoin is down a whole percent right now. Got Cardano making a little move. It is up in that 35-cent range. It's up 1.16. Shiba Inu is sitting up as well. It is up 1.39. So definitely getting some moves on the bottom half of the top 10, but we will kind of see how the rest of that plays out with some of the data we will be seeing today, because we're getting core PCE month over month, and it's going to be a doozy. It is forecasted to be up 0.3, which is definitely not what we're wanting to see when they're trying to bring inflation down. We do have some unemployment costs and wages and the index coming out as well at the same time. That's going to be 8:30 Eastern time, and those are going to be quarter over quarter, so less likely for some error. But the big doozy is going to be that PCE at 8:30 Eastern. It's definitely going to move some markets a little bit. We do have a little bit later in the day. Oh, looking same time actually. I don't know why they split it up like that, but we do have initial jobless claims and PCE price index month over month and year over year. So that's also going to be something to look at. It might be a little bit of a mixed bag on that PCE data because the year over year is forecasted to be coming down to 2.1% from 2.2, a little more in line with inflation goals. So we'll kind of see how that plays out with this forecasted up 0.3% from point 0.1 on the month over month, because that's definitely ticking the wrong direction there. We also have a little bit more data coming out with personal income month over month and personal spending month over month. The personal income is looking up just a little bit, but the personal spending month over month is forecasted to be a little bit higher than the wage growth has been. So that's definitely not a good sign either. When Jerome Powell had talked about jobs numbers and wages being a big part of the rate decisions. So we will see how that all comes out at 8:30. I know Piper will definitely be going a little bit heavier into that data this morning when he goes live. Other than that, we don't really have any heavy data coming out for America, but we do have some Australia home loans month over month and Australia PPI quarter over quarter. You know, a lot of the strengthening in the region of Asia is why Japan felt so comfortable to keep their rates the same. They did get a large move off of the yen against the dollar with their rate decision, which was a little surprising in my eyes. Normally, you see a move in either direction off of the a dollar strength against another dollar strength when they actually make a move, not when they make no move. So maybe they're thinking we're actually going to do another rate cut, and they won't have had to have hiked those rates. We will kind of see how that plays out. That's coming next week. Sorry for the blinding whiteness. That's the little AMD article I had pulled up. Here's the fear and greeds for the day. We do have the stock market sitting 57 and neutral. No change on that. For the crypto side of things, we're also no change. 77 though in greed. That's kind of a good thing to see when you're stabilizing in a range, to kind of see no change on the fear and greeds. It would be very worrisome if we stayed in this little range that we're at and we're ticking higher on the fear and greed. I would like to see us tick back down on the fear and greed and like be a little less greedy, but we will kind of see how that plays out with the PCE data that's coming out at 8:30 Eastern. For the liquidation heat map, we do have some hot spots sitting on either side of us, so it could be very easy to see a false move off of the PCE data that's coming out before we move in the direction that the market makers wanted to go. The hot spots above us are 73,087, and on the top side of that are 73,548. So those are the two hot spots on the top side. There is a little bit of liquidity in the middle of those, but if you shoot for the bottom side of that top side liquidity, you might as well just grab all of it before you send it in the direction you were wanting to go. For the bottom side, that liquidity is starting at 71,588 and goes all the way down to 71,242. So the heavy liquidity is sitting down on the bottom side of us and would definitely be the stronger move to make, especially if we're going to be seeing a mixed bag with your month over month heading in the wrong direction on your PCE data. Let me get over to the Bitcoin chart, because we did have a giveaway that was based on the price of Bitcoin when we went live. Let me drop that down do the hourly chart, as you can kind of see here, we've been sitting in that range between two old highs. And that price at the start, let me drop it down to the 15-minute. With that start time at right here, 72,493. So I will make a note of that because it looks like Baba Yaz would have been the winner on that giveaway with his 69,420 guess because it was supposed to be closest to the price without going over. So we will definitely make a note of that in the Discord after the show goes live and let him know he won. I do not see him in the chat right now. Let me move that back up to the higher time frame. On the 4-hour chart, you can kind of see here, we've been in this range, and as we've moved down on your prime oscillator, we kind of haven't moved out from underneath that old high that we had. With a nice little curvature on our prime oscillator and kind of ticking back up to the upside, it definitely looks like we could get some more upside movement. This will really depend on PCE data. You do have your MACD sitting right there at an indecision mark. It is kind of to the bottom side of it. As you can, if I zoom in there, you can kind of see it's at the bottom side. But there is curvature on that and could easily just tick back up to keep on to the upside. You do see inflows are still very green on a 4-hour chart. So definitely in that area where we can continue up, but PCE data is definitely going to be the big mover. We do have that golden pocket that is sitting right below us at 71,000. So right in line with that liquidity I was talking about, and definitely a nice little bouncing point if we are going to continue to the upside. Let me pull up the daily chart. I've been definitely focused more on the higher time frames because it'd be a nice little indicator for the more macro and how low we might go before we blast on out of this range. You know, we've definitely moved out of the range that we'd been talking about for 6 months, but we haven't really left it behind yet. This resistance line is untested as of yet. We do have a fair value gap that is it's pretty small, but all of this movement to the upside was very explosive and leaves a lot of untested prices in this range. I do have that same fair value gap sitting below us that we had moved off of, that $66,000 range, which could be a nice pullback range before we end up moving out of there. As you can kind of see, we're getting some topping signals on the daily chart with a little bit of curvature on your prime oscillator as well as the MACD. We'll have to see if that completes, especially with the PCE data today, maybe sending things a little bit to the downside. You could expect to see that daily chart really be affected by that and complete that curvature and kind of point to the downside on things. On both of those, we do not have an overbought indicator, so that's something to keep your eye on. It definitely leaves a little bit of room to the upside to move, especially when I showed that liquidation chart with that liquidity to the top side. It leaves that open to be grabbed before we end up making a little move to the downside. I would look at that 71,200 range again for that pullback. Let me hop over to the Japan article I had pulled up. You know, it was it was a doozy last time they decided to make a rate decision and hike things up. It was just a small rate hike, up 25 basis points, but it really moved some markets. Right this time, they decided to keep those rates flat, as you can kind of see, and they got some strength out of their dollar on it, which was, like I said, very surprising to see, especially when, their dollar has been weakening against the region in general. The only thing they're really been gaining some strength on is China. And you know what China's been doing, injecting a lot of liquidity into their system and lowering borrowing rates, and also doing what the US government did, where it was like, hey, if you're having deposits put into your bank, you don't have to keep much of that money in your bank. You can just send it on back out there so that it gets used. And that's definitely a way to break a system when you're not very strong and people aren't actually paying these loans back at the rate that they should be. So let's dive on into this article real quick. USD slash JPY. Why yen strengthens despite Bank of Japan keeping interest rates unchanged. Japan's central bank is in no rush to hike rates as it strives to jumpstart an ailing economy at the expense of its local currency. The USD JPY pair declined early Thursday after the Bank of Japan maintained its benchmark interest rate unchanged at 0.25%. The move was expected by Forex markets and by me, and led to a slight appreciation in the Japanese currency, which chipped away at the dollar dominance. The dollar-yen pair dropped around 120 pips, or 0.8%, to 152.3 from 153.5 moments after the rate hold decision was announced. The reversal of the upside swing threatens to snap a 4-day rally of the dollar on the back of strong economic data out of the US. In Japan, political jitters cast a cloud of uncertainty over the yen's next moves as the Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba needs to muscle his way through now that his party lost its majority. And this is definitely something I had talked about in previous shows, that they were going to lose their majority in the government, and this was going to be a bigger reason why they wouldn't be hiking rates. So why didn't the Bank of Japan hike rates to support the yen's long-term trajectory? Raising rates is directly related to increasing borrowing costs for the business and households, and that's something Japan would hate to do right now with the economy in an already sluggish and lacking momentum. The Bank of Japan needs to pay due attention to the future course of overseas economics, particularly the U.S. economy, and develops in financial markets, the Bank of Japan said in a quarterly outlook report. It also needs to examine how the factors will affect the outlook of Japan's economic activity and prices, the risk surrounding them, and the likelihood of realizing the outlook. This is definitely something I will be keeping my eye on because, as we're seeing the data coming out of the US today, it's been majorly positive for recent times, but when you start seeing PCE data month over month ticking in the wrong direction, it kind of forecasts some things that could be headed our way on the consumer side of things. And this is definitely not what we want to see. It is what Japan wants to see, because if the US economy is weakening a little bit, it gives them a chance to swoop in there, hike the rates another 25 basis points, and you'll start seeing a lot of liquidity that Japan had left in our markets start to move on back to Japan. And this would be a very good sign for Japan as well, bringing that liquidity back into the markets will strengthen things. They are seeing their jobs numbers start to strengthen, but their wages are remaining a little bit weak. This has been a factor in them deciding to not hike those rates, because as things are becoming more expensive but your wages are remaining weak, if you hike those rates, you're really keeping that money from being spent. People are only going to be able to buy the necessities, and those necessities are going to be more expensive and less likely to buy some of the things that they would actually need or want to buy. So we will see how things play out right after the election and the U.S.'s rate decision. So definitely something to keep your eye on. Let me get back over to the chart. I have been looking at near. It is a favorite of mine. As you can kind of see here, with Bitcoin dominance ticking back up, we do have Bitcoin dominance sitting in the 60 range, which is something we've talked about for quite a while now. You are seeing these altcoins bleeding off as Bitcoin is staying stable. That is no different for near. It is right back down to that golden pocket range, sitting at $4. That $4 range. There is also a fair value gap that is sitting right there. That has not been completely closed. You did see some wicks here, but on a daily chart, it has not fully been closed. So it would be a nice bounce range, and also a spot to accumulate some more near if you are looking to add to your hodl bag on near, which I definitely am looking at doing. That bottom side of that is going to be $3.84 for that gap. I do have a strong support line right underneath of it that I have had my eye on again, especially as you're seeing Bitcoin dominance ticking up and Bitcoin staying stable. If you do see some downside on Bitcoin, it would really send near further down. And that's where that trend line comes back into play, and that's $3.53. So my two targets for near going to be $3.84 and that $3.53 marks. Both of those would be great accumulation zones. Let me get LBC pulled up here. It looks like he is finally in here. Oh, hello, sir. Hello.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween there.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I am under caffeinated this morning, so I've just
I
been.
doubt that. I've been listening to you for the last 10 minutes and you've been zoom, 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 zoom.
Yeah, that's so the thing about the caffeine is the caffeine calms me down a little bit unless I hit too much caffeine, and then it just increases my personality. So it's
Oh,
a fine
gotcha.
line. Yeah. This is me under
Very fine
caffeinated.
line. Gotcha. This is me under overtired. I don't know.
I do like the Halloween mask you got. I'm wearing my Halloween costume. It is a lack of a costume. It says 404 error 404 costume not found. So
Costume not found. Let's see. Who we got? What we got going on right now?
well,
You're talking about Japan keeping their rates.
oh yeah. I talked about Japan. Their lack
This
of a
is the way.
decision. Their lack of decision on the rate hike. So keeping rates flat, which is definitely good for the economy if the U.S. decides that it's gonna cut rates again. I like the little mug. It doesn't look
Thank you.
very effective to drink out of with the mask on, though.
I can't take off my mask. You can't see my face. It is against the Mandalore code.
Oh no, I did not know that one.
So just want you to know that, okay? It is against the Mandalore code.
I definitely talked a little bit about the Bitcoin dominance. It is now sitting firm in that 60% range that we've been wanting to see for a while. So, definitely going to see some altcoins taking some damage off of that. You got some more Halloween stuff for us? Let's give him a second. What's he got going? I don't know if anyone has any alts that they'd like us to take a look at, but you could definitely leave those in the chat here right now. Oh, extra, extra Star Wars stuff.
Sorry, I had to get my buddy. Had to get my buddy Gogru. This is Gogru. Everybody, say hello.
Extra
Happy
cute there.
Halloween. He'll just be sitting here for the show. Okay. Here we go. I'm surprised that the green screen isn't like changing his face up, but you know.
I I mean, it might be the fact that he's sitting right there in front of your shirt that's keeping it.
Maybe.
It could
So
also be the difference in green.
could be. Could be. All right. So we hit that 60% dominance. I don't know if
Most
we talked about
definitely.
that yesterday.
We did talk about it. We're now sitting in it though. It is very strongly in that 60%
Oh,
range.
60.22.
Yeah, and it is still looking like it's going to be doing a little bit more climbing. You know, we did bring that up yesterday, but that 62% range is kind of what I'd like to see. You will see some bleeding on those alts though, so that's why I took a look at near and showed people some bottom side targets for some hodls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm looking at the dominance right now, and it's coming up to the golden pocket, the 0.618, which is at 60.34%. So we're at 60.22%. So that could be the end, man. It could be the end.
Let me get that pulled back up with you. There we go.
I like the way your lips move in that helmet, Lunar. that's what that's what Billy said.
I didn't even see that in chat. I it's sometimes I understand now why when you were doing solo shows you weren't paying massive attention to chat because you kind of just get in there and you paying attention to what you're doing and you don't really get the chance to hop back and forth and pay attention to chat a whole lot.
Who is you?
Who is you?
I used to pay attention to chat all the time.
Kind of. There'd be definitely times when you got on a roll and
Oh
the
yeah,
chat would just be going insane. We'd just be keeping
yeah.
ourselves entertained as you're doing your whole spiel from top to bottom because you're good at that Bitcoin breakdown, and when you get going, you get going.
Well, it's once I like once the picture starts getting clear, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. This is what I'm seeing, you know. So yeah,
Well, you got a Bitcoin overview for the people.
I'll give a quick little Bitcoin overview.
All right, and then I'll hop.
It'll seriously be quick.
All right, I'm gonna hop in chat for a second.
All right. All right, guys. So sitting here looking at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $72,384.70 on the Blowfin perp chart. Um, Something that I am noticing is that we are seeing a spot premium, meaning that spot cost more than your perps. So that is actually healthy. So I've been wondering what's been going on with this open interest lately, and I'm wondering if it's not just like little 2 and 3 X's that have been like getting built up all the way up here. But right now, we can see with the chart prime, Oracle Pro Plus, I've got the candle highlighting on static. When this thing turns green and when these things turn red, I mean, they like to tell you when exactly, they don't tell you exactly when things are about to turn, but they do kind of help guide you in seeing that, especially when you get stuff like a chotch, right? So something that I've found on these chotches, if you ever use a chotch change of character, something that I like to do is once you get a break and put in a high and it pulls back, if you go ahead on a chotch, okay, specifically on a change of character, once you get a high and you get and then well, in this instance you go from the high before the chotch broke, before you created it, right? And then you go down to the low before it pulled back, and then it comes right up to that 786 area, and then yeah, then that is where I would look to go short, because a chotch is like it's change of character, so it's saying we're going to be flipping a different way here soon, essentially. And so that's what we did. Now we don't have any chotches over here. Well, we have one chotch right here. Came above it, came below, and then off and away we go. So everything's lining up. We're taking out this high. We're taking out this high. The only high that remains is the all-time high. So yeah, man, I really, it's looking good. We do have a fair value gap here that I could see us getting into. Come down, sweep the previous day's low, sitting here at about 71,400 $33. Between that and $70,268. So between those, I could see us coming down, tapping that before we continue to the upside. We are green on our oscillator across the board. So yeah, I definitely foresee some more upside on the higher time frames. On the lower time frames, I would just be looking for, yeah, I'd be looking for possibly a sweep of this low here. Nah. Yeah. Sweep of this low at 72, just below 72,000, and then a push higher up to that previous daily high. So yeah, I mean, either way, if we break lower, I think we go higher. If we break higher, I think we go lower. In other words, I think it's going to either look like this or it's going to look something like this. Okay, with this high coming in somewhere in here, and then we'll get a correction, and we can start our first big correction of this new of this new wave, of this new 5-wave structure. So yeah, I'm just being patient. I said I'd be quick, so that's it. I'm being patient, getting ready for a potential pullback, as this could come up here and we put in a bearish divergence. Let's go to a higher time frame. um Let me see real quick. Come on, oscillator. Yeah. So money flow has been coming out on the hourly. Still coming out on the hourly. So this could be stalling up here soon. So with the volume matrix in the red, so on the 1 hour, we could see a pullback is on the 1 hour. So then the next, like, 4 to 10 hours or so, but possibly get a pullback down to the dynamic reactor, which currently sitting at $70,259. Just go ahead and pull a fixed range volume profile real quick to see if we've got any levels on that. We're sitting at the point of control, so if we lose that, it looks like the next area where we could come down to is 69,000. So yeah, so let's hold this up and let's just keep pumping, guys. That's what I want to see. It's Halloween. Let's just pump it. He's got to pump it up. This is the way. Boom, 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 boom. This is the way. Let's go. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. This is the way. BC, what's up? Hello.
My bad. I was looking. I flipped my mic up because I was had a little bit of a coughing fit.
Gotcha.
I was looking at Moonwell in the background, and it's a little bit hard to do some TA on a longer term time frame. Let me get my screen moved over to the rat ding.
How long has it been around?
Not super long. It has been around since the 25th of September. So, definitely a shorter history. And you know, on the daily chart, it's kind of really indecisive. It's looking like a pullback is definitely plausible, but if you zoom in here, it's looking like it could definitely continue its little trend that it's been on. You can kind of see here on the hourly chart. You know, the outflows are a little bit red, but you're seeing curvature here on your MACD and the prime oscillator as well. So kind of sitting there at a point where it could pull back down to the 382 at 9 cents, 9 cents and some thousandths. You know, it's definitely at that point where it could get a little bit of a bounce off of a 382. Some shorter time frames. The 15-minute chart also showing that the money flow is at a point where it could start turning around. You are still seeing that curvature. Your MACD line is kind of close to the indicator line, so could really go either way, and that's why I'm saying that that 9 cent point could definitely be a nice little point to pull back to and continue from. If Bitcoin does end up making a little pullback today, you could see it break a little bit below that. This 50% line at 8.5-ish cents would be another good bouncing point, especially if you're going to see Bitcoin dominance going up along with that. So just a little quick little rundown on Moonwell. That is on the Coinbase chart.
All right. It's
You
time
got
to give away some money.
Oh, I had announced that when I did the little beginning Bitcoin rundown. Tisk tisk on me, right? Well, I
Who
didn't.
won?
It was Baba Yas with his prediction of 69,420. If we had,
Woo! Baba Yas,
oh,
Baba Yas, this is the way.
oh, wait, yep, 69,420. Because if we had ticked a little bit higher, David Brumbelow would have been the winner. He was sitting at $73,000 prediction. And
Oh, he deserves it.
we're just under that, you know? He was so
Dang.
close, yet so far.
So freaking close. Congratulations to Baba Yas. I'm very happy for you.
We will definitely be reaching out to you after the show. I don't have to work today, so I'm gonna be doing
So
some,
he can get some stuff done for once.
yeah, and I will be a DJ on the charts and trading and active in the Discord.
I'm gonna be a DJ at work.
What degeneracy are you gonna be getting into, David?
Day trading.
Yeah, but Bitcoin, or are you gonna be a degen? You got something you got your eye
Well,
on?
well, it depends. What do you consider 100x trades, DJ?
Nah. I would consider 500x degen.
Uh,
I know one exchange that you can do that on. I don't recommend using that exchange. So.
don't even name drop it. Don't even name
You
drop
know
it.
exactly what I'm talking about too.
I really don't, but don't name drop it. I don't even wanna. I don't
No.
even want to know who has 500x.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
That's gambling.
I definitely saw someone get liquidated extremely fast off of that exchange.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, it's just got to move like a boop, and then you're
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yep.
what?
Yep. And if you don't have a stop loss entered as soon as you make your trade, yeah, you could be out of there quickly.
Bro, you are not using. You are not. If you were on 500x, you're not using a stop loss. You know that whatever money you put in there is that's what you're putting in there, and what you're gonna lose if you lose. I'm serious. You're not trading
Yo,
with the stop
no.
loss on 500x.
Well, I mean, it depends on how much capital you're trading with. Because if you know,
No, it's pointless. It's pointless.
if you
Just
got $1 million account, 500x gives you a little bit of a wiggle room, but you also don't need 500x if you're trading with $1 million.
yeah, exactly. What are you doing with your life?
I don't know. Try to be a DGen, David. Leave me alone.
No. How dare you?
No,
It goes against everything you stand for.
yeah, it does. No, my favorite is 50x and 100x, and it all just depends on my time frame of things. I like to use 50x with some lower capital on a 15-minute chart. It's pretty decent, and then 100x for those 5 and 1 minute charts, which is something I might be doing today. Being a little bit more degen. I might also trade some alts with some leverage, and that can get extra fun.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on that PCE data though. I don't want to do
When is
any.
that? Is that today?
Yeah, at 8:30 Eastern, and
All right. So if we on that data drop, okay, if we hit on the data drop, if we see the price run down to the previous daily low, sitting at 71,424, or we see it run up to the previous daily high, sitting at 72,969. Look for a market structure shift, a double top, a triple top, something on the lower time frames above that previous daily high or below that previous daily low, and then go long from the low, short from the high, and then you'll probably run it back down to the other side, if I had to guess. Uh, we'll see, but yeah, I think that would be the case. That's something that would happen probably. Yep.
that's a pretty good guess. I had
We have a lot of equal lows over here on the 5 minute, like a lot of equal lows. So making a run on that liquidity would not be surprising at all.
yeah, I had definitely said that earlier when I took a look at a Bitcoin chart and the liquidity on both the top and the bottom side of us. That's kind of funny that you brought up 71.4 because that's right on a golden pocket extension. That's right where the liquidity lies, and it's right where that last low was. So if we swoop down there, I was looking at a fake move either way, because the forecast is a mixed bag on the PCE. Your month over month is ticking in the wrong direction. Your year over year is ticking in the right direction, and you getting some job numbers at the same time. So it's gonna be a doozy of an 8:30.
Yeah, that should bring some high volatility. So people, please be careful. Use a stop loss. Don't get too crazy. All right. But it is 6:30, so it is time to go.
Most definitely.
So I hope you all have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, excellent, radical Halloween day. Baby Yoda says, "Have a good one." There we go. Love you guys. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you for everyone that tuned in this morning. Make sure to tune in to the morning market report at 8:30 or 9:30 Eastern, cuz they're giving another $100 away.
Giving another way, another $100. Let's go.
And then again tonight we will be giving away another $100 on the crypto nightcap, and that's 8:30 Eastern PM. So tune into that one as well. to hear who wins, because you never know. If you didn't win this one, you might
You
win
might
one of
win the
those.
next one.
Most
Yep.
definitely. Other than
Heck yeah.
that, everyone have an amazing day. Trade safe, because it's definitely going to be a little volatile this morning. So wake up.
It's gonna be a good day. This is the way.